Hello, I'm Chef Marcus Giuliano, and welcome to Chef on a Mission Radio. Chef on a Mission Radio, episode number 79. 79. I'm talking about water today. Wild foraged water, wild harvested water, but not your ordinary water that's coming off of a waterfall or coming from a spring, or some pristine water source running off of a mountain with glacier melting. No, I'm going to talk about tree water today. Yes, you heard it right. Tree water, specifically maple water, maple sap coming out of a tree. Here in New York right now, it is February, middle of February, and maple water, which makes maple syrup, is the first wild foraged food of the year. For the beginning of the year, traditionally it's the first wild foraged food, and most people make maple syrup out of it. Some people do drink the water, and I'm going to talk about the water. When you walk into a grocery store, now a health food store, you can find maple water. Maple water exists in bottles, but I'm going to give you a very strong warning about that water that's in the stores, and make sure you're going to get the right one, because there's a big difference in the type of maple water that you drink. I don't want you to think that all maple water is created equal, because it is not at all. So before we jump into this, this is brought to you by Aroma Time Bistro, my restaurant in upstate New York since 2003, farm to table cuisine in Ellenville, 90 miles north of New York City in the beautiful Hudson Valley. Check us out. Follow us online, Instagram, wherever. Aroma Time, THYME Bistro, and VIPWineryVacations.com. VIP Winery Vacations, where I bring you to my friends' vineyards in Italy, Spain, all throughout New York, and now Mexico via de Guadalupe. Go to VIPWineryVacations.com. Check out our next trip itinerary, and we'd love for you to travel with us. All right, back to maple water. So if you're in New York right now and you're driving on the countryside, you will see buckets out attached to maple trees. You'll see, in some cases, a very complex, what looks like an irrigation system, a drip system going from tree to tree to tree, an aqueduct system out of tubes and hoses, and in some cases it's being gone up all the way the mountain and just gravity fed this liquid goodness back into a place that's going to start cooking it down and reducing it. Maple water turns into maple syrup. There's a significant amount of loss of water because you have to cook it off and evaporate it to this beautiful syrup that is loaded with vitamins and minerals. But we're going to talk today about what happens when it comes right out of the tree, okay? So this is what we're talking about, right out of the trees. So there are lots and lots and lots of benefits to maple syrup water or maple sap. Let's just call it maple water for the time being, okay? If you go online now, you will find a ton of information, 6 benefits, 10 benefits, 15 benefits, 5 benefits, whatever you want there. It is out there. You will find it. So that is exactly what I did. I went to fitnessspell.com and pulled up their article on the benefits of maple water. So let's check this out. So the 10 benefits of maple water. All of us are aware of the very delicious maple water. Maple water is a healthy alternative to sugary drinks. You can use it instead of sugar and reap numerous health benefits. Over time, some studies have been done to determine the health benefits of maple water. So before knowing the benefits of maple water, let's get a brief detail about what maple water is. Maple water is the clear, beneficial liquid that is obtained from the maple tree. It is the nourishing maple sap. This liquid is obtained mostly during the spring. It undergoes various natural processes that mix it with all of the important nutrients stored in the tree. It is a very tasty and has numerous health benefits. So folks, the maple water is getting extracted from the tree. It's pulling the nutrients out of the tree. Maple trees, all these older trees have deep roots. They go into the ground, they grab the nutrients, then it gets transformed into the water. They say that our maple syrup, I'm up in the Northeast there, our maple water is equivalent to what coconut water is for people that have coconuts in their region. All right. So this is the sort of the same thing. If you're looking for coconuts, the benefits of coconut water, and you want it naturally foraged up here in the North, you're going to go to maple water. So Let's see here. It is rich in sucrose, an excellent source of minerals, oleosaccharides, amino acids, phenolic and organic compounds. Maple water is a source of 56 bioactive compounds, and a few of them act as antioxidants. It also contains minerals healthy for our bones, such as potassium, zinc, manganese, and calcium. It also has derived plant compounds like phenols. The compounds are essentially biological impact with a crucial human health. Vitamins, polyphenols, and nutrients can be helpful for treating thyroid. It contains vitamins, nutrients, and polyphenols. It is a very beneficial part of our diet to help prevent disease. All right, let's jump into the benefits. Now, keep in mind, all maple water is not created equal. And if you're going to the store to buy maple water, I'm going to give you a very, very strong warning on that. There's some good ones and there's some bad ones. So the health benefits of maple water. Since maple water is highly nutritious, some of the health benefits of maple water are mentioned below. 1, regulates blood sugar levels. According to a new study, maple sap is a source of abscisic acid, or ABA. ABA helps regulate the blood pressure and is beneficial for people who have type 2 diabetes. It's also helpful for people who are suffering from inflammation due to obesity. And of course, this article has all the footnotes at the bottom and everything is referenced. 2, prevents inflammatory disease. Maple water is a source of 24 antioxidants. The antioxidants are present in the form of phenolic compounds that fight the free radical damage, which leads to inflammation. It can lead to various severe problems like inflammation, bowel disease, cardiovascular disorder, and arthritis. They're talking about inflammation can lead to that, not the water. Chemo-preventing effects for cancer. Plant foods contain a bioactive substance known as polyphenols. Polyphenols are also in olives, folks, very rich in olive oil. Plant foods contain a bioactive substance known as polyphenols. Guanylins A through C is essential polyphenol found in sap in different sugar parts. It's also present in types of red maple. Research studies have stated that polyphenols of maple have the property of chemopreventive effects of cancer, remains restored during the time of cell cycle arrest. Number 4, beneficial for bone health. Maple water contains magnesium that helps promote the bone health. As per a study of British Journal of Nutrition, the researchers examined a kind of maple sap, Acer mono, also called bone benefit water in Korea. It was examined upon mice who were on a low magnesium diet. Their diet in this maple sap, in their diet, the maple sap was added. Mice who were fed with 50% and 100% of the maple sap showed normal level calcium serum in comparison to the ones who were given either spring water or 25% of maple sap. In the group, spring water and 25% of maple concentration, they also showed the reduced density of their bone, thigh bone and length. The researchers also added that 50% of the maple sap concentration could lessen the risk of osteoporosis. It could limit the symptoms caused by a low calcium diet with the help of calcium ion absorption. Number 5, cures tonsils, sore throats, and mouth ulcers. One of the main health benefits of maple water includes curing tonsils, sore throats, and mouth ulcers. It can disinfect the affected areas and heal the problems. It is an effective antiseptic that cure the problems such as angina. Maple water is also used for sanitizing wounds. Lowers the risk of hangovers. Maple sap can have the same effect that the effects of coconut water. Maple sap can also lessen the risk of a hangover. According to a 2011 study in the International Journal of Molecular Medicine, sap can help lower the blood concentration of alcohol and its metabolism byproduct. It helped lower the concentration of blood in rats with 25%, 50%, and 100% of the maple sap 30 minutes before drinking alcohol. The study further stated that the level of 2 liver enzymes utilized for alcohol metabolism, ADH and ADH and ALDH, increased in rats who were given maple sap before they drank alcohol. So, folks, it's important to do this before you drink, not after you're drunk and or after you wake up in the morning with a splitting headache and can't function. So, prior to going out and drinking, can help enhance the rate in which the body metabolizes alcohol. It implies that maple sap can help lessen the risk as well as the seriousness of a hangover. Let's see here. Great source of electrolytes. Maple water contains electrolytes similar to that of coconut water, which means it's a great sports drink. Fantastic sports drink. Maple water keeps the body hydrated and is an excellent source of potassium, magnesium, and calcium. 7 maple or 8 maple water, very beneficial for treating rheumatic pains. This is a vital source of the cure pain, also helps reduce swelling by arthritis. All right. Beneficial for skin problems. Recent findings prove that using maple sap as a moisturizer can help treat skin conditions like acne and eczema. Drinking the liquid itself can have a lot of benefits. Maple water can aid in rejuvenating the skin cells and enhance the skin texture. The German people used maple leaves to cure skin problems and wounds, as it helped to transport excess water from the tissues. That's interesting. 10, reduce levels of natural sugar and calories. The calories in maple water is very few, with that of 500 milliliters of maple water only has 45 calories. Therefore, it contains half the amount of calories of mineral waters like coconut. Maple water has very few calories and only 2% of the sugar as compared to those other drinks. And if you drink maple water, folks, it does have a little sweet taste to it. And remember, to do this, to take maple water or maple sap and reduce it to maple syrup, you literally lose like 90% of the product. I'm not sure the exact ratio is, but literally 90% of the product gets reduced out and disappears, and it reduces this very concentrated syrup, Now, what maple water should you be looking for in the store? Now, because maple syrup has a ton of waste, there's a lot of water, a lot of waste, a lot of steam that comes off of this. If you collect the water that's coming out, the wastewater, the steam, and you take this form of water, the byproduct of the maple syrup, this product is not good for consumption. And a couple of the big brands, at least one of the big brands I know out there, this is their source of water. They're not taking water directly from the tree itself and saying, this is the water from the tree in its form, let's put it into a bottle. They're waiting for the companies to process the maple syrup. After they process the maple syrup, cook it down and collect the leftover water. Then they're putting that into a bottle. Folks, if you go and ask anybody in the maple syrup business who cooks maple syrup down, you ask them what they do with the wastewater, they're going to tell you that they clean the equipment with it and then they dump it down the drain. Typically, this is what happens to the wastewater. Now, like I said, one of the companies I know out there has decided to take this water and stick it into bottles and call it health water and call it healthy maple water. I'm not current on all the brands right now of maple water. However, you don't need a brand right now. All you need is a maple tree, and go out there and put a spout on it and start drinking the water that starts collecting in it. You don't need to cook it. Refrigerate it. It'll last, I think, 10 days, 14 days. And you can grab a lot of this water. You can freeze it if you want. If you can't consume all of it right now, freeze it. But there is a company out there that I've spoken to at the food shows. And when I've called them out on this, they just don't have an answer for me, because they know that, is the water going to kill you? No, it's not going to kill you. But it's like we have a water ionizer. This water ionizer makes very high alkaline water. Well, the process of making this alkaline water, it kicks off the very acidic water, the very low pH water, which is good for cleaning, good for plants, good for eczema, good for skin conditions. But it's not really good for consumption. It's a very, very, very low pH. In one of my other episodes, I talked about how one of the chicken processors takes this very low acidic water to go in and kill bacteria in the chicken plant, especially in the chickens. They soak it in the water and it kills off salmonella and anything else. So you would never drink the very low pH water coming out of a water machine. The same thing with the maple syrup. Maple water, you never drink this water because it's used for disinfecting, cleaning, and throwing down the drain. And I know several people who make maple syrup up here, and they do not partake in consuming this water. This water is waste. It's garbage. It's for cleaning the equipment. So what you need to do is you need to go to, if you're interested in buying this, you need to really look up the brand, call their consumer hotline, and ask them how they're obtaining the water. Is it through the byproduct, bycatch of the water coming out of the already made maple syrup, or is it directly bottled from the tree in its original form? Now, they're probably going to pasteurize it, I'm assuming, if they're shipping it out, because pasteurization is what holds the shelf life of it. But like I said, right now we're in the middle of season, and you can just go out and you can literally go out and tap your own tree if you have a maple tree in your yard and collect the water. You can go to anywhere like Ace Hardware, any kind of store, and buy a kit. You can go online and buy a kit and start tapping away. If you watch a YouTube video, you'll be able to take this. If you have a lot of the water, then I would definitely go watch a YouTube video and figure out how to make maple syrup on your stovetop. It's not that complicated. Just take some care and some watching and very slow cooking, and you will be able to make your own maple syrup. And I trust you will be addicted year after year of doing this. But drink as much of the water as you possibly can while it's here and while it's in season, and be very wary of the brands you buy on the store shelf. As far as coconut water is available all year. You can buy the whole coconuts. You do buy coconut water in the whole coconut form. You're looking for the coconuts that have been shaved off, and they're called young Thai coconuts. They have this white flesh on the outside, which is the fiber from the green coconut shell to the brown coconut inside, and it's shaved, and you can simply just crack that away and stick a straw in it and drink. You can also buy coconut water already put into a bottle. There's many brands. I would look for the brands that are in refrigeration, that are not pasteurized or lightly pasteurized or UV treated. You can buy those now. They are available on the market. They are out there. Most of the coconut water, though, is coming in a full pasteurized package, sitting on the shelf stable. Fine if you can get that only, but look for the real stuff, the real fresh stuff, the unpasteurized. When you start pasteurizing, you're heating the product. When you're heating the product, you're killing off some of the enzymes and some of the vital life force of the food. So one of the points I wanted to make, consuming maple water is not the equivalent to consuming maple syrup. There might be some leftover minerals and other things in it, and maple syrup might be a complex sugar and better than white sugar. But don't think, oh my gosh, I don't have maple water, let me just start consuming a bunch of maple syrup randomly, by the glassful or by the cupful. Or it doesn't work like that. Not the same process, not the same thing, and it's not the same product. The water is the whole form of the food, of the item. The maple syrup is the extracted, concentrated part. And of course, you want to use maple syrup before you use any other type of syrup for your pancakes or for sweetening, or if you're doing that. Most syrups on the market, like Aunt Jemima and all those Log Cabin, are all corn syrup with caramel coloring. And some of them say made with maple syrup, or some of them say real maple. Folks, the season ends around April of maple sap. It all depends upon the weather too, right? You need cold days, warm nights. Cold nights, warm days to get the tree to start expanding. And that's what gets the water flowing, is this cold, hot. So warm days, cold nights, beautiful for it. And that happens end of January up until April. What happens at the end is, once you've extracted basically the water out of each tree, you hit the quota for the tree starts really pulling an inferior water product out of it. And this stuff would never make it to higher grade maple syrup. It goes for industrial production, like Log Cabin that says made with real maple. They're using the stuff that is not considered grade material, and it's like being extracted from the tree well after the season, and it's real maple water, but it's not the ideal maple water that you're looking for, the maple syrup that you're looking for. It's just not. It's like taking lettuce and taking 3 harvests off of it, and what's barely coming up later words, and it's all deformed, and and you've already cut the lettuce 3 times and you're waiting to like try not, well, let's get one more. Maybe lettuce isn't a good example. Let's say olives for olive oil. You press it your first time. It's great. You have extra virgin olive oil, all the health benefits. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, gee, there's still stuff left in the olive pressings, right? There's still stuff there in what we pressed. Let's press it again. So they press it again. Well, not much comes out of that. So you get a little bit of run. Why don't we throw a chemical on there, like hexane gas, and see if we can extract it even more and get everything to drop off of it. So this is what like the maple water is. That's after the season or late in the season. They're just trying to get everything they can out of the tree, and the tree's already done its natural process, and it's already given you what it has, and now they're forcing more out of it. So that stuff, like if you go in the store and you buy, literally see those big brands is made with real maple, they're using that type of maple. They're not buying the expensive stuff that's, if you go to the store right now to buy maple syrup, you're going to pay $100 a gallon. So it is cheaper wholesale, but you can understand $100 a gallon. It's not much cheaper wholesale. It still costs a lot of money to make maple syrup. It's intense cooking down, a lot of loss, and they have to harvest it that very short period of the year, and it's done for the year. So once that's done, the cheap and inferior maple water goes into this mass produced stuff. So buyer beware of that. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. I'm Chef Marcus Giuliano. Check out Aroma Time Bistro, THYME Bistro. Follow us on Instagram. Check out our website. Come visit us, say hello, and check out VIP Winery Vacations, where I take you to my friends' wineries throughout some amazing wine country in Italy, Mexico, New York, and we've done Spain before. And who knows where we'll go in the future. You never know. People ask us for France, ask us for Champagne, they ask us for the Loire Valley. They asked us for California. So who knows? We've been to many of these places, and so just who knows? But I personally love Italy, and that's why we've been going back and forth to Italy so much. And we're just waiting for normal travel without the restrictions to start booking more group trips to these regions. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. If you're watching this on a platform that you can like it, please like it. Drop a rating on this podcast. I appreciate it. It helps the views. Helps it get out there. Download it, share it, but give it a rating. That'd be fantastic. I really, really appreciate that. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Have a great day.